Ever looked at a dog and thought you've just cracked life, haven't you? This is Oscar, my King Charles Cavalier Spaniel. Small dog, big lessons, and oddly enough, he's taught me a thing or two about midlife, more than any book, coach or TED Talk ever has, because, let's be honest, midlife is weird. One minute you're full of energy, experience and ideas. The next, you're staring at the ceiling, aren't you? At 2 a.m. in the morning, questioning everything. Where do I fit? What's next? Am I running out of time? Some days I wake up all fired up, ready to push forward, and other days I just feel stuck. We know midlife isn't an ending, it's a transition. And funny enough, Oscar has a better grip on that than I think I do. Now, of course, he has an advantage. He doesn't have to earn a living, pay the bills, or look after his family. His biggest concern is whether he's going to get a bit of bread or something like that at the end of the meal. But still, there's something in that, isn't there? While we can't ignore real life responsibilities, maybe we can stop making life harder than it already is. Overthinking, stressing, feeling like every decision carries the weight of the world. So now we have that all out the way, to the lessons. The first one that Oscar has taught me: presence over panic. Oscar doesn't wake up wondering if he's fulfilling his potential. He doesn't dwell on the past, worry about the future. He just wakes up, stretches, wags his tail, and finds the sunniest spot in the house and claims it. Meanwhile, I've spent years stuck in my head, overthinking, second-guessing, worrying if I'm making the right moves. It's exhausting, but here's the truth. I think he looks at me and I think he's saying midlife isn't about finding meaning, it's about living it right now, in the small moments, in the choices that we make today, not the regrets maybe that we carry from yesterday. I don't think Oscar rushes his walk because he's got things to do. His walk is the thing to do, and I think that's a reminder we all need. Lesson 2, pivot, don't panic. When Oscar's usual walking route is blocked, he doesn't sit there questioning his whole existence. He sniffs around a bit, wags his tail and finds another way. Simple, right? Yet when life throws us a detour or a curveball, we often freeze, we make it mean something. It doesn't. The path has just changed, that's all. The question isn't why me, it should be where next. Midlife is full of pivots, some planned, some not, but panicking never helps. What helps is looking up, adjusting and moving forward, even if it's a different route and different to what we expected. Oscar doesn't fight the change, he flows with it. And maybe we should too. The next point, number 3, find joy in the small wins. Oscar doesn't wait for the big moments to be happy. He finds joy in the everyday, the warmth of a lap, a well-timed biscuit, the eternal optimism of chasing birds that he'll never catch. And yet as adults, we convince ourselves, don't we, that it's the huge wins that count, the promotion, the perfect relationship, the breakthrough moment. But what if midlife isn't about chasing the next big thing? What if it's about recognizing those small victories that build a life? Learning something new, reconnecting with an old friend, setting boundaries, taking a step towards something different, even if it's small. Progress isn't loud. Sometimes it's subtle, but every step matters. Oscar doesn't need a grand reason to enjoy his day, and neither do we. Lesson 4, love who you are, not who you were. Oscar isn't nostalgic about his puppy days. He doesn't sit around telling us, oh, I used to be faster, more energetic, I'm more fun. But how often do we do exactly that? We look at old photos and old successes, old versions of ourselves and wonder where that person went. We compare who we are now to who we used to be, and often we feel like we've lost something. If Oscar could speak, I think he would say, you haven't lost anything, you've just evolved. You're not the same person you were when you were 25 or 35, and that's a good thing. We're wiser, sharper, we see through nonsense faster. Oscar doesn't dwell on yesterday, do you? I don't think he does. He moves with today, and maybe that's the trick. The last lesson from this little man: the best years are the ones you decide to own. Oscar doesn't overthink, he doesn't hesitate, he just lives in his own way. He reminds me, I think, just that. It's life, not a crisis, not a countdown, not an ending. It's another chapter, a chance to reshape, rethink, rewrite. The real question is How do you want to write your next chapter? Because whether you realise it or not, you're still holding the pen. Unless your dog has chewed it, of course. That's it. That's a few thoughts from Oscar. He took a while to write that. So clever. Love him. And you're clever. Jump down.